Okay, so this question is going to go through 2C. Now I need to identify my reactant and my product of one of my half equations. So I've got one there, skeletal equation, and then my other one is this one, and that's species. And because we're going to be adding waters and hydrogens to balance our equations anyway, we can kind of ignore these in our skeletal equations. Okay, now the real reason behind that I explained in the previous video, but just briefly again, these don't undergo oxidation or reduction, okay? And if we had oxidation numbers as a skill, we would be able to identify that. We can't yet, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. But we can just ignore them. So water and the hydrogens, we can ignore them because we know we're going to add them later in our steps of balancing. Okay, so there are two skeletal equations, and I'm going to go through and balance my first one. So going through the Cohees steps. K, 1s, 1s, done. Oxygen, 3 on this side, 4 on that side, so I can add 1 water. Okay, now I've got 4 oxygen, 4 oxygen. Hydrogens, I've got 2 hydrogens on this side and none on that side, so I'm going to add 2 hydrogens. And now I need to balance my electron charges, so 2 plus and 2 negative, so that's a 0 charge on that side. And I've got a 2 negative on this side, so if I add 2 electrons on this side, that brings that down to 2 negative, and my charges are balanced. Okay, so that's my first one almost done. Just add the states in. Okay, now second part, MnO4 to Mn2 plus. Okay, so Cohees steps again. 1Mn, 1Mn, done. Oxygen, 4, so add 4 waters there. Balances the oxygen. Hydrogens, I've got 8 hydrogens on this side, so I'm going to add 8 hydrogens to that side. And charges, so 8 plus minus 1 is plus 7 on this side. On this side, I've got plus 2. So I'm going to have to bring this side down to plus 2 by adding 5 electrons. Okay, so then my last thing to do is just to add the states. Okay, so liquid, aqueous, aqueous, and aqueous. Okay, so now I need to add my 2 half equations together, and I just need to check that my electrons are the same value, which they're not. So I'm going to multiply. I need to think about what number is the smallest number that 5 and 2 can go into. The smallest number. Now that's 10. So how am I going to get this to 10? I'm going to multiply everything by 2. How am I going to get this to 10? I'm going to multiply everything by 5. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that for this first equation, 5SO3, just be careful with the 3, plus 5 water goes to 5SO4, 2 minus, plus 10 hydrogen, plus 10 electrons. Okay, now second one, 10 electrons plus 2 plus 16 hydrogen, 2 Mn2 plus 8 water. Okay, so now I can add my 2 equations together. So I'm going to look at all my reactants and write them next to each other. So 5SO3 2 minus plus 5H2O plus 10 electrons plus 2 MnO4 minus plus 16 hydrogen. Now I'm going to add all my products next to each other. 5SO4 2 minus plus 10 hydrogen plus 10 electrons plus 2 Mn2 plus 8 water. Okay, so now I can think about what I can cancel. So I can cancel electrons and the hydrogens and the waters. So 10, 10. Now how many waters do I have on this side? I've got 8. I've got 5 there, so I can knock out that 5 and knock out 5 here to be left with 3 water. 16 and 10 hydrogen. So I can knock out that 10, knock out 10 here, and I'm left with 6 hydrogen. And that's everything I can cancel. So carefully going through and writing this out again. And I'll write the states as I go. 2MnO4 minus aqueous plus 6 hydrogen now, going to 5SO4 2 minus aqueous plus 2Mn2 plus 3 water liquid, and that's the full balanced equation.